Hello, gang. Back to Kingdom Come. In like two. That was the life. It was actually very terrible because my schedule is not posted. Last day of my day, I did not have enough food. But we are back. And that does mean that I have to talk about games, possibly a third. Remember what we were doing here. Like, got materials coming in, stone, so we should be able to build a tavern, bakery. Those bakery, if I get my 5,000 real great. Seemed like this and the adult butcher come out to the same profit margin. Just it's harder to get the butcher stuff, I guess. Stock. Maybe I don't even need livestock if I don't have. No, like I don't need to get both reef yet. Most people can eat cakes, not just livestock. I guess cart horse trader though. Yeah, I guess we're going for tavern baker. And how much money do you have? 1,000? I don't know, like 2,000 to build that. I don't think that'll put us in the green, but like something. Put all this crap away. Although, there's a stash here. Probably not going to be able to build that house. Hello? Sound test. Like, I should have them like this a little closer. So what can I do? What can I do to get some? Right, the treasure map. This is the last ancient map, I think. I believe it's somewhere over here. That's where there's like a fork at a river. So I like do this, but rotate it all one on top of another. Oh, it's gotta be somewhere up there because the river was going north. Picture from what I remember. Start off with that. Ba ba ba. Well, what has been going on? Work was like shitty. Our freaking shipments for stuff got delayed. So we just did not have certain things. And get like cheap alternatives, and I'd have to run all of the buildings. I want to fucking die. Legs were just falling off. It's like the hardest I've worked since last Christmas. I've already mentioned before, I work at a hotel. It's like a lot of room. I give everyone. I knock on all the doors. Knuckles hurt.
Ow! Here!
Like, I gotta do it in a timely manner, but people aren't opening doors either because they don't want not in there. I've knocked multiple times, getting progressively louder, hurting my.
Who's there? The answer to my prayers, just when I wanted to vent my rage on someone.
And yeah, that sucked. The thing I hate the most is when you knock and they don't answer, they just say, "Who's there?" Like, if you're not at home, who the fuck do you think it is? You're not gonna know my name if I say it, you just fucking open it.
Christ!
A lot of shit. Starving. Hot bread. Drop that. Russian. Too heavy. Sounds like gold a pound. I just hit a bunch of shit. So I will leave his possessions intact like a good Christian.
Yeah.
Did I mention that looting corpses counts as a crime? My crime block. Crime tracker. Can't imagine how long this would take if you were actually playing like correct. Actually having to buy all your
eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
Not having a for most of the story stuff, you can get away with persuasion events, but then there's some mandatory boss fights, like do a run, talking to run, you bottom. Oh, we did that one already. Yeah, so there's the river. Cross the bridge. There's a hut. So it's probably a little more up here, actually. Flip a picture though, so I should south cross them.
Yeah.
What else we got? Was state elections happened. Means I can finally stop seeing the same ads telling me about how awful all the candidates are. Absolutely hate election season just because of that. Can't have a positive opinion because both of them have such radical ideas. Frontrunners always have the most radical ideas. Why they're the frontrunners. The guys who are just gonna make little small tweaks, maybe actually be happy with picking, run out of money. It's a shame. What I thought was funny
This is
about
certainly no time for roving.
the ads this year was my two candidates for like, this guy doesn't like abortion. The other guy, you know, he runs the ads like, I'm great, and this guy sucks. You got both kinds, and the other guy is just like, nah, just this one thing. Wasn't even the abortion thing, that was the other guy. That was the hot button topic of this year, though, right? Something's probably gonna happen with that. A lot of states haven't they? Up with that. EBH. Oh, your hunting spot. This is the house. Probably. Probably just in the house. Right there.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank God. New ads. It's always refreshing because he doesn't understand the same one 5 times. Wonder if that's like just a me. I have such narrow interest that they don't have much else to show me. Like, hey, he lives in this state, so he also likes video. So, you know, it's selling him Elden Ring, a game that he bought day one. You know, I think that he might buy Elden Ring again.
Yeah.
Spoilers, I wouldn't. Told you, it was not as good as Dark Souls. This guy, he buy my thing. Okay, so I know there are like multiple Game Awards ceremonies. I think that we all understand that Jeff Keighley's annual thing, like the biggest budget, it seems like the most prestigious thing. Allegedly, allegedly. But you know, it's the one that most people know about. Like, I've never watched a golden joystick have a, like, I don't know if they even mail out trophies or anything like that. Like, everyone got their own. Anyways, apparently Dark Souls 3 was not even nominated the year it came out. Like,
I want to leave the province.
How?
I'll have to get permission from Sir Radzik.
That was, 15, I think. Granted, there were a lot of good things that year. Doom. But, like, for it to not even be nominated. So, like, if Elden Ring ends up on the panel, which I'm sure it will, because it's such a massive... I'm gonna be a little salty about that.
Yeah.
I think that the complaint people had with it initially was that seemed derivative, like pandering, like the past stuff, with like all the old bosses. A lot of fan service. But like, I feel like that was necessary. It was trying to like close out the whole Dark Souls plot. All that stuff popping back up with fit in context approaching story of so, you know, I see it as like a bonus. Probably didn't. What else? What else? Sonic Frontiers came out. I'm gonna wait to buy it, but reviews. Very happy to see it. It's like first Sonic game in a very long time to get positive response, seemingly from everybody. I'm sure there were plenty of fans who were salty about something. I'm happy it's getting attention. I'd like to see a bigger budget.
Yeah.
I've seen like some really atrocious looking pop-in on it though from like PS4. For the critics were playing it on big open space, move really fast, pretty unacceptable. Like trying to figure out where you want to go next just by looking on the horizon and all the stuff that you want to go 5 feet. Unacceptable. I'm assuming on PC there will be settings to make that like less than capacity called password.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like an I tweak you can turn up the draw distance. There's gotta be something to be done about it, actually. But that's like, you know, I'm definitely in no rush to buy it now. That and did, however, find Evil West. Very excited for Hungry. Like a $10 cheap pre-order. The game's already only $50, so $40. Hell yeah. And we've got God of War in a couple days. Thought it was gonna come to me. Shipping said estimated delivery would be today. We'll tell you that the end of the day they update it, though. I guess they have like a timed delivery from the shipper. Makes sense. Slightly annoying that they didn't like drive it to my office. It says it's like 30, 20 miles away. FedEx facility. It's like at a certain point I should have just not asked for it to be delivered. I can just walk into GameStop and potentially having it not show up at the fucking end of my day, just dinner time. Not like I'd be awake anyway, so I'd probably sleep fucking full. too. They start mining this after I left. Like, yeah, some shit.
What the?
What the? Ryan's probably him. Hello, Blacksmith.
I'm at your service.
My service tonight.
Goodbye.
All arm horse. Rob his sword, mate. Air kits have to be running out now. Full armor, cobbler. All armor. Turned in the boar heads, right? Wait. Trader's Wealth 7. Looking. That probably unique. Never gonna look at it again, but I will have it in. I'll just do that and just keep all unique items. Way to not use 5. Don't have the heart to get rid of it. I really liked how in Borderlands all the unique weapons would like pop out again at your level, build up. So you don't just get rid of it because you know they all have unique fire modes, scopes, whatever effects. Like it's a shame when it's level 1 gun. We not used so cool. Oh, we're way over the limit. Okay. Sell any of them. Arc plate armor. Get out here. Yeah, I can sell him. Oh. Like and get some reputation for giving like 7. Means we have to go find others. that. That's trash because you have to stab with it. I'm at the point where there are things that don't fucking. Now those stars are gonna be there taunting. Now they open. Just spend them to get rid of them? I don't know. Oh, alright, the whole reason I opened my... Time we a half hour in. Very close. 4 minutes. For making an event. This thing ever did. Talk about the...
Yeah.
Hey, hello. Oh. Oh. Hey, Ian, is that you? Yeah. Really wish Kristen fucking solely on the game. Sure, he got a ton of money from it. He doesn't regret it, but like Disney did nothing with it, man. Not use the property at all. They just bought it to stop making it forever. Still does stuff occasionally. I know he helped with Smiling Friends or something. Like I think he did the Halloween month. Of course, working on it. God damn it. This is the boar pit. There's a boar. Funny that Henry mentioned that you need a spear to hunt boar. Spears aren't. Yes. Most common medieval weapon. Not in fucking realistic. Think it's fucking fun to fight someone with a sword? Hell no. Scary. That's why I use a spear, because you can take distance. Look at it. Have to thrust that hard and still nick.
I could do with a bite to eat.
They're all fair babies. Red.
Yeah.
Plus, they're like so cheap to make. It's just like a piece of wood, the metal point on the end, arrow. Crank them shits out.
Yeah.
Office, or is he?
God be with you, Henry.
Good health to you, Henry.
God grant your health.
Oh, grant you.
I brought that game.
Show me then. I have no time for this, young man. Goodbye.
Can't just hand it to you in segments. Kidding me? Okay, well, like personal. Good at the hunter's hut though. I can pour the meat in that chef so we can fry it. Stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deer and rabbits spawn behind the hut. Bye.
Yeah.
Dump off all the warhorse shit too. Up this hill, right? Yeah. Your belly bushes.
Yeah.
Really an effective lock when you pull it out from outside. I never looked at the friggin' equipment. Cool looking. Pretty nice. Look too fat. Weighs 4 pounds. Um, got this time. A bit late. 14. They're the same, right? I feel like this. Oh well. This has like that little accent on it, so I that slightly glowy. Pretty light. Sorry, yeah. This is only 4 pounds. For the other place, because shocking that. Yeah. Meat. Eat the meat. So we need to hunt bits. I need proper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Habits are just everywhere around the rabbit hunt spot. Sound. I'll get you, bitch. Oh, knock that. Woo! Liver. Valuable. Wonder. Habit. Fuck! Walked right into that. How much? So I need 70. Pass. It's probably where hand was. Alright, time to talk about Yakuza Kiwami, like I promised. Talked about it a bit last time. I'm probably gonna retread some ground. Yakuza Kiwami is of Yakuza remade use pro. So there are combat improvements, however, combat is exactly the same. Got the fighting stances, rush, brawler, dragon, unlocked from doing all the real estate shit. Dragon is unlocked by default in this one because it's based on Cure set from the first game, which did not have stances. So because of that being included, the skill tree is actually slightly different. In addition to having experience rather than using money to buy everything. I thought was a great system. You know, Yakuza 0 technically is Souls-like. But without that, there's not much to actually spend your money on. Buy food to heal, and there's some equipment. There is some rare equipment that's fine. Then you can gamble with it for fun. You know, I was just swimming in money the whole game because to buy. Especially since it gave me some like bonus starting equipment that was pretty good. It lasted me half the game. Just from having other Yakuza games at it. I didn't have to use that, but it didn't seem. I looked in the store and immediately all stuff's better, so like, alright. Anyways, yeah, I've played 0 and 7 like a dragon. 0 is obviously a prequel, and it's like one of the best entries, so definitely recommend starting there. This being a remake of the first game, you know, it was a new IP, small budget. The story is just like not great, pretty flat feeling the whole time, and they added stuff to make it like fit the continuity better with 0, though it still breaks at some key moment. Like Kiryu has been to Purgatory for the homeless camp in Park, but he allegedly went to it the first time, so he like completely forgot about that. But then they added like side content, like pocket circuit stuff. That wasn't in the original game, I don't think, but the guy at least remembers from doing stuff in 0. And Majima, he talks about his past stuff he was doing in the other game when you were. Oh, we talked a bit about Majima, I know that. More on him. And because it's made in the same engine, it's just like hard to not compare this to 0. And like in that sense, you only have the Kamurocho map because it's the first game. And you know, it's shorter. You only have the one character to play. You're not leveling 2 different guys. You don't have to go through both maps with both characters. Literally half the length. Pretty hours. And that was just me doing most of the side content. I think it said I did 6% of the stuff. That was my complete score. Got all the hair me right. One more. Again, the story is just like, you know, it's flatter. They didn't make 5 games before this one. It was the first entry. But they did add, like, additional cutscenes. And just playing Zero on its own enhances the story so much more. Because originally, they just thrust you right into the middle of Kiryu's life. You have no idea who Reina is, who Nishikiyama is, Kazuma is. These characters were all much more explored in Zero before. And, you know, they had bigger roles to play. But now, right away, he is going to become a villain. And you're just supposed to care that this guy is like family to Kiryu, that they grew up in the orphanage together, that he helped defend him when everyone was trying to kill him in the last game. Yeah, you don't know any of it. And they never mention it, which is really strange. I guess maybe they're trying to not spoil the first game, but it's funny because I started playing Kiwami 2 as well, and the game starts off with a complete recap of what happened in the first game. It's optional, but like if you didn't play it, you can watch a cutscene and get the entire story told you in a couple minutes. So yeah, playing Zero definitely enhances what's there a lot more, but like originally, I think it was difficult to care about a lot of things. And then like in between chapters, they'll do cutscenes to like show what happened with Nishi and why he's fucking crazy while you were in jail for 10 years. And those were not in the original game. Those were added by Kiwami. You know, they help sympathize more. They make you care about Nishi. Again, like, those are the best part of the game. They were an addition. And, like, they were still kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil too much, but, like, the moment where he finally snaps, he, like, stabs one of his boys. He has blood all over himself, and he's, like, crying, and then he slicks his hair back with the blood. Smiles. He's like, yes, now I'm evil. Lightning goes off behind him. It was a little too silly. Like, again, without those, the story's just, like, flat, because Kiryu doesn't find out much of what actually happened. He just gets pushed around by everyone. Finally stumbles into the fight. And, like, the big bad and Nishiki, there's a second big bad. He's not the final villain. They both show up, like, back to back. Like, it feels a little rushed towards the end in that sense. Not to say the writing itself isn't good, it's just like, you know, it's floppy. Floppy, there's not enough build-up, and again, it's like a budgetary thing from it being... Still, that's a shame, because, like, yeah, the gameplay is fun, but I would absolutely say the reason to play them is...
God be with you.
Really is that good.
I'm honored that you should come.
I brought that game.
Show me that. That will be all for now. The stores are full, and neither Sir Divish nor Lady Stephanie have any further demands on your hunting services. God be with you.
Hell yeah. Your huntsman. What time is it? So gameplay, again, literally the same as 0. You got your 3 styles and the 4th one, which is locked by default now. However, it's still useless. That's the sad thing, man. It's the dragon style is it takes elements of the 3 smaller styles. That was the whole they were made. Like show what led to his signature style. So, it's got like big meaty attacks that can be charged from the style. It's got the weapon movement. It's got dodging. It's very agile. You can behind someone, snap their neck. Rush style. And it's got like the brawler move that kind of good in all situations. Wide swing, fast attacks, grabs and touch. However, it has its own individual skill tree that you don't spend points on. You have to task to unlock for it. Which means that if you're not getting these tasks done, either from RNG, because most are from finding specific Majima fighting him, or you're just not engaging with the side content, you end up using the thing because skill points will be spent on the styles and longer by default. Close though. Do I have to run like back to fucking Tigers? Probably don't even have money. I'll have to go here.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, the other styles would just be stronger. But they don't all have their own individual skill trees anymore. They've been truncated to one, like, technique. So, like, the north side will be for Brawler, the west will be the Rush, and the east will be B. And they get leveled in a linear fashion. Start from the center, work your way out. They become more expensive as you go on. About halfway through the game, I maxed out my character game because the only progression left was doing challenges to get beast unlocks, and the challenges just kept getting harder, and I could not keep up. The dragon unlocks. The sad thing about the dragon is that it has like objectively stronger moveset. Like it has additional damage bonuses than it, attack speed, stuff like that. But you have to unlock them by chance. So I was complaining about last time, at rank of the Majima fight, I was supposed to unlock the heat action. They're locked by default. But I never ran into a slugger Majima on the yeah, I've fought Majima with a bat multiple times, but you have to run into him walking around on officer fight. I just had to find him. I never did. So I never had heat actions that made it like, let alone the Kiwami actions, which are used on bosses to stop them from health. A lot of the endgame bosses have dragon Kiwami actions you have to do.
Yeah.
So those were not unlocked either. I go up the fucking planets. So yeah, I was just like really disappointed that I didn't get to use his signature style at all, even though it was unlocked from the beginning this time, rather than it being locked behind a very long, arbitrary field judgment to do.
Bad news, I'm afraid, Master Bailiff. Very bad news.
That makes a change. Well, out with it. What happened?
2 wagons that were on the way here with grain and fodder supplies were ambushed by a band of Cumans. The wagoners escaped by the skin of their teeth, but the supplies are gone.
Damn it. That is bad news.
Worse than bad. Those were supplies for the whole year, and we won't be able to replace them. Things are hard enough as it is. Sir Divish had to lower his quota for Townburg just to let us have it.
So we've no grain for the baker, no fodder for the stables?
I'm afraid not, Henry. We're left with only 2 options. One as bad as the other. Either we can go cap in hand asking for more, and look like incompetent fools. And anyway, we'd be lucky to get any.
Not too appealing, I must say. And the second option?
There's still a
Spawn
few
more
sacks
grain,
of
you
grain in
kidding
the
me?
labourers' camp, but they bought it themselves. We could requisition it, but it would make us rather unpopular, not just with them. It's for you to decide as bailiff.
Can I just go kill the humans and get the shit?
We'll order another delivery. They sent one, they'll surely send another.
I fear they'll send us nothing but mouldy dregs from the bottom of the barrel.
I'm not taking dregs.
Well, we'll requisition whatever supplies are here for the good of all. Folk will just have to tighten their belts.
I fear that would provoke an uprising.
It can't be helped. We'll just have to convince them it's for the common good.
Ah!
Yeah.
The laborers aren't happy. Stuck that head. I wonder what can be done to even clear it, you know, like... I just stuck with disgruntled laborers forever now.
Hey, who's there? What's that?
A nap. I sang. The story was like underwhelming. Disappointed by the combat stuff, like being so. I don't know. I kind of like the skill points. I just felt like I progressed through it too quick, and you know, I don't think it was as smart as the money system from the 0. But you know, it like fit the atmosphere. They weren't in the bubble economy anymore. Had money. Game's set in like 2005, so everything feels like kind of sad. Everything's not all flashy lights and money flying everywhere. No. Set at Christmas too, so like, you know things are bad when it's sad at Christmas. Alright, I keep hitting the mic. Uh,
Yeah.
right, so I said they added a lot of stuff, like Majima Everywhere, that was added, and it kind of breaks a bit of the story, you know? Because there's like a scripted part where he shows up like 3 times in the story scripted, right? And he seems like he's just a psychopath if you didn't know anything about him from playing Zero. But know why he's so obsessed with Ryu and whether he loves him or hates him. It's still a bit of a mystery, but I think it's more of like a rivalry kind of thing. A bit of both. Right, anyways, there's like a part in the middle of the game where he gets stabbed protecting Kiryu, right? And, you know, he doesn't show up again until he's a boss towards the end of the game. But in between all of that, because Majima Everywhere exists, Majima's totally fine. He's not in the hospital or anything. He's still out in the street hunting you. And he's not even wounded or anything. But then he shows up again as that boss, and yeah, he's wounded. He has bandages on his stomach because of the stab wound. Like, the game just forgets about it because it was an injection. And, like, there's a noticeable difference in character between Goofy Edition Majima and Story Majima. Comes off as a lot more psychopathy. However, the guy does 180s in his personality so often, it's not too jarring. Just, you know, I felt it was noticeable still. I feel like the karaoke had less songs in it. I'm not sure about that. But, like, I was a little underwhelmed by that as well. Weird thing to say. Mini games. Obviously there wasn't a job game in this one. Mini games were basically just, you know, the bowling as usual, the karaoke, gambling games, blackjack, poker, whatever. I guess you can consider the arena fights, the underground arena, a job mode. But those are kind of hard, honestly. I didn't get through all of them. Because eventually they start locking you into specific stances. They, like, try to make things be like, there'll be items dropping constantly. You shoot items in the arena, so, like, about all the time to get weapon damage. But, you know, some of them will lock you into stances. So the one that had you use, like, a specific infinite durability weapon, put you in with a specific stance, and it was, like, the most advantageous one. And, you know, it was just difficult. I couldn't get past that one. What else is it? There was the Pocket Circuit. You get to buy little parts and customize your Hot Wheel and race it. Fun, but it can be a little frustrating when, like, your car keeps flying off the track and it's like a 1-part difference. definitely like a correct build to make. It's a little puzzle to solve. You just found the perfect thing to race. And there are like side quests connected to it for special races against rivals. Majima will sometimes show up and do games with you. And that counts towards his everywhere level. So like you gain experience just not even fighting him sometimes. There's a relief.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
Nezu King, Battle Babes, Battle Beauties, something like that. It's the wrestling, the babe wrestling game, Bikini Babe Wrestling from Zero, but this time they're just like bug girls. And you collect cards around the streets, and you like attach to the cards to rock, paper, and scissors. And you know you're playing rock, paper, scissors, but there's a little more depth to it, a little more predictability to it because the characters you collect have stats. So like this will be a scissor type lady, Link. And if you find the card, like the special move with her picture on it, it'll damage. And you know, based on what cards the other player has or the stats other thing, you can kind of guess at what moves they're more likely to do. So if this guy's a scissor type and they have the super special scissor finisher, they're very likely to try and use that and like one hit you, so you might feel safe picking rock. But they'll be aware of that and still maybe pick paper occasionally. It's not a surefire prediction. But the opponents usually have habits that you have to learn before you're able to beat them. The first guy you pick is like, oh, I'm gonna use my super crystal punch, and you look at your cards like, oh, that's a rock type. Then you fight him, and you see this kid only picks rock. So you just keep picking paper, and that's an auto win. Kind of funny that you're like battling children who are playing a big battle game in a Sega arcade. I got kind of deep into that, but the final fight of it, or less, the final fight of it, requires you to collect like all the cards around the map, and I just did not find all of them. So that one got stopped a little short before the finale. What else is there? I think you can play darts. I never went to the dart bar because I don't care about darts. Arcade has a claw game in it, and I think Virtua Fighter 2 probably. It did not have nearly as many arcade games as Zero did, that's for sure. I don't think I even played them, to be honest. I was really good at Outrun Super Hang-On before I liked playing them. Case Harry was alright too. So like I just suck at fighting games, so Virtua Fighter being in it not necessarily a plus for me. Right, there's also the dating game where you go to a host club and you try to flirt with the hostess until she goes on a date with you. Let's talk about host clubs. You pay money to get into a club and they sit you down with to talk to you. And I think that the general consensus is that these are like shallow conversations. They're like pulling the stuff out of a list. Everybody knows what's going on, so like nobody thinks that you're actually flirting with someone, though sometimes you are. And you know, they're just trying to sell you drinks, get you drunk, talk to them, flirt with you a bit so you buy them a drink, then both get drunk and maybe something happens. And you're just trying to get your bill racked up. And yeah, it definitely feels that way. You're just trying to find like the least offensive response out of a list of 4 things. Try and make them happy, and then your rank with them increases. I think your rank maybe dictates what conversation you can have, but conversations are picked at random. They're not necessarily connected. So, you know, you'll occasionally have the same one, second chance to get the correct answer you got wrong before, but like helps emphasize how shallow its whole matter is, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually you'll go, like, do side missions, and the characters will text you to come hang out with them without even going to the club. And I did not reach the end of the storylines because I just did not care for it. I was trying to, but, like... One thing's, like, a girl who doesn't want to try and sell you stuff, she just wants to talk. And I think her side quest has stuff, like, going on with her sister, also a host, and trying to date one of her customers. Like, oh no, don't do that. This guy's trash. We got a spy on them. And the other one is a girl who's like, yeah, I'm a lesbian. You're not gonna flirt with me. I like girls, and I spy on the girls, and it's the best job ever. And you're just sitting there like, bruh, are you trying to sell me drinks for that? Yeah, she is, like, aggressively pervy. I think is realistic. You know, she, like, acts like guys do, creeping on people on their fucking Instagram. Instagram existed at the time.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I did one mission with her, and it was, like, helping her pick up babes on the street. Kind of funny, actually, but basically talking to both of them, it was just like you just pull your hair out constantly because you cannot say the right thing ever. Like, do you think I'm cute? No, stop flirting with me. Like, say I'm not cute? Fuck you. I think that was all the mini. No, there's the baseball batting cages. Which, very difficult, because when you let go of the stick, it, like, snaps back to the center. It's like constantly fighting with the stick to try and aim that where you... And then you just press the A button to time. Always get... But... I wasn't very good at it. Oh, and Mahjong, of course. I fucking don't understand Mahjong. There's too many combos. It's kind of like playing poker or blackjack or something, but like tiles, a lot more tiles are slightly more complicated. Yeah, I suck at it, so I did not engage Mahjong. And there's the side stories all over the street. I felt like they were a little lackluster here. There's the occasional creative one, but for the most part, you're just running into scams. Sometimes even the same scam, just changed up slightly. And sometimes they're scams question mark. Like, I remember this one where you kept running into guys on the street, and every time you bump into them, like, oh shit, I broke my spine, I broke my arm, I broke my leg. You're gonna give us some money, guy. And you kick their ass like, holy shit, this guy's got magic hands. My back is all better. What, did I actually break his back, or was he trying to scam me? Just walk away, like, yo, thanks, bro. And they do it again.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about the scams, though, is, like, it's a period piece, so, like, the scams evolve with the time. So first you give someone your phone number, and they'll call you, and try and, like, you know, give you the fake, you owe this bank payments at the bank, but you actually have an account with them. And you just hang up, and they'll never find you. Right? Then in the next game, the internet's more of a thing, so you give people your email address and your phone number, and then counting. Things slowly start to evolve to stuff that I've been post-pandemic, where everyone turned to cybercrime. You can no longer use eBay or fucking OfferUp or anything like that anymore. Where can
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It was something to do. It wasn't too long at all. I probably wouldn't recommend by any going really too hard on it. 'Cause, you run out of stuff to spend your experience in on too quick. Like, if you're into the mini games, that's great. Like, I'm happy for you that that's there. That at least pursue a fighter without an enemy. But I don't necessarily care for all the things. I feel like there was just less variety. There was so much shit to do with Hero Guy. And, you know, I get that I was going back to the first game, but a lot of things are, like, underwhelming. Oh, it was alright. I don't regret playing it. And, you know, I did immediately move on to 2, which is massively better. Massively better. Not gonna talk about it for a while yet, but it is, like, maybe the most next-gen thing. Fucking tech dem. So beautiful. All physics. Fucking question mark on everything. So reflective. Character animations are way better. Like, interiors, almost no loading screen. And they even, like, made the combat all cool. They got rid of the stances back to potentially progression. I'm really enjoying it so far. Probably halfway through it, but I don't know how progress on that's gonna go once I get my hands out of war. Like, it's probably gonna take a backseat. Did I cross the bridge again? Did I go across the river? What? Oh my fucking god, dude. Me go straight towards this fucking arrow so I get on the right side.
Yeah.
This is why we don't go to Sasau.
Yeah.
So what would I give it? Oh man. I didn't love it. I obviously didn't hate it. Like 0, but like a little worse. And again, the story is like always the part of the bad part. So like there's a little tinge of disappointment on top of it, just objectively slightly worse.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't even know if I talked about Yakuza 0 as a show. Probably like 2 points lower than that, which means looking at like a 6 probably. 6 or 7. Not sure how I feel about 0. Probably 6. 0 would have been an 8. And what I give like a dragon, like a 9. I really enjoyed the turn-based combat with Dragon. Like, it went the right way with that. Objectively better step to it.
Yeah.
I don't even remember when it came out, but it looked a little dated too, by the way. Like, obviously it looked like a hero, but out years and years after it. And I don't remember this. Probably sometime before Yakuza out. Like 21. The 6 is like $5, by the way. I mentioned that, but I got the game for like $2. Almost all of them were $1. I got Kiwami 1 and 2. The only one that still has like a big price tag is 7. When he went for all on sale. 6, which came out like a year before 7. $3 as well. 5. So, you know, they're cheap to buy into, which makes it like, you know, I may have given it a 6, but that's a great price to pay for a 6. Right, we also mentioned I wanted to play No More Heroes. I wasn't sure if that was going to be a stream game or going to do on my own. I decided I'm going to do it on my own, so played the game. Film stuff before I get him. $400 thingy? Really, man? Armor ring.
I'd like to discuss... Well... Alright, so?
I'd like to make you an offer. Have you heard about Pribyslavitz?
Don't bother me now, young fella. I've got that sneaky fucker Otter to deal with.
Right, I have to do the quests for this guy, probably.
Do you work any copper here, Master Blacksmith?
Why'd you ask?
I'd want to commission you to make something.
Then you best go elsewhere. I never use copper.
Aha.
For the point investigation that we half of forever ago. We only investigated where the Quicksilver was going, but not the copper.
So back to that...
What?
Aha. What can you tell me about the Sasau Blacksmiths?
Well, there's Mikesh. He's honest enough, and a fair hand at everyday things. And then there's Master Otter. He used to have talent, but now he's too old, and too proud to admit it.
Ooh. Okay. About
Good luck then.
the other guy right here. I think this is the guy with the quest.
Fine armor. Is there a joust happening?
That's not what you said in the subtitles, my guy.
See you later.
Okay, like 4 blacksmiths down. I find them. Do a quest while we're over here too. So No More Heroes, made by Grasshopper, which is made of people from Cloversoft, who have played God Hand. Evil. Kick-ass game. And you know, their lead man is, of course, Suit 5051. Worked with Yakuza Kiwami on Resident Evil 4 and God Hand. I have not been involved in God Hand. That was Shinji, though. Anyways, Suda is the reason that Resident Evil 4 is cool. Like, they added this flexes, they made it more actiony. And then after 4, I believe both of them did not work on the Resident Evil. There was like, oh, whoa, people loved what they did to 4, like, they made it all actiony cool, and that's when Resident Evil went off the fucking ring. They just tried to replicate this success, and they kind of failed. 5's an alright game. It's like a good co-op experience. Simply not as good as 4. Anyways. Suda51's the guy. Exclusive. No More Heroes was his Wii exclusive. Eventually came to the other console. And that's when it got more popular because nobody controls. But, found that was exclusive to a Nintendo console, it like mind blowing. Travis all the time, and like motivation is that he wants to shoot them. So like, you know, this is a very adult game that's exclusive to Nintendo console. Even 3 was a Switch exclusive for a while, so crazy that Nintendo was supporting that.
God save you.
Not that I have a problem with it, of course.
Take
Unexpected. That their whole brand is fucking. There's Mario and Turbo. All kid-friendly stuff. Crossing. Nope. Sell something for 30.
Let's have a word.
Well, all right, so.
Like they divided the whole economy between all the guys here. Instead of them all having 1,000. 1,000 like guy and rat guy.
Do you ever work with copper here?
No, and even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Zach from the Monastery Craftsman's Yard has bought out all the copper.
What can you tell me about the Sasau Blacksmiths?
There's too many of us, I'll tell you that for free. This is only a small town. There's Zach, who has a forge in the Craftsman's Yard and mostly works on the construction of the church. And then, apart from me, there's Master Armourer Otter of Ramstein.
Isn't Zach the guy who told us that he doesn't work with copper? Lied.
Tell me more about Zach.
Don't have much time for him myself. He knows his craft, no question. But he seems to think his son, Vitus, will be a master armourer in Prague one day.
My father was a blacksmith, and I expect he thought much the same about me. That's how fathers are, isn't it?
Of course, any man should be proud of his boy. But Zach makes pride a sin. That's why he's at loggerheads with Master Otter.
Can you tell me something about Master Otter?
Well now, there's a master to look up to. He's worked for the lords of Kunstadt and for the richest townsfolk of Prague.
If you don't mind my asking, what brings him here?
The same as draws all reasonable people. He's enjoying the peace and quiet. Or rather, he used to enjoy some peace. That dispute with Zach must have put a few more wrinkles on his brow.
What are Zach and Master Otter arguing about?
Zach had his boy Vitus trained as an armourer in Kuttenberg, and he wanted to buy out Otter's place for him. Except that Otter's a proud man. How would it have looked? A master armourer giving way to a young whippersnapper who's barely let go of his mother's skirts? And they've been arguing ever since. Well, Zach mostly. He badmouths Otter every chance he gets. He claims that he's only fit for mending pots, and that his son will see him off.
That will be all. Thank you.
See you
Alright, well.
later.
Right, so the story is very simple. It starts out with a little cutscene running through the whole group, what he's been doing. Travis is a broke ass, he was at the bar, he didn't have money. Hot chick shows up and he's like, hey, I can get you to kill this guy. And she just leads, Assassins Association. So you pull out a beam katana you bought on eBay apparently. And you go kill this guy, you cut his head off. Called the Drifter, he had guns. And you know, he looked pretty cool, but you do not get to fight him until in a cutscene. And now that you've killed this guy, you are now ranked. So you are stuck in this assassination where people below you gotta pay money to get a chance to fight you. If you pay money, you get the guy's location, and then you can go fight them for rank. So once you're in, you are being hunted while you're also hunting the guys above you. Like it sounds like a scam, and that's because it literally is a scam. There is no no meaning to any of this. Just get money from people, and then they kill each other, and nobody gets to live in long enough to get their money back. You know, it's a self-fulfilling loop. Everybody down the kill and want to kill the competition. It's actually a really smart scheme, but, you know, obviously your character lives through it. But he's a dumbass, that's the funny part. So you start off at his second fight. Get a quick tutorial. Combat is simple, but it works. Press the A button to attack. You can hold the A button to do a charged attack, and you hold your Joy-Con. I played this on the Switch. You hold it straight up to do high attacks, or you can tilt it forward or down low attacks. Low attacks have more area to them, but they have longer sprint times. You know, opposite for the upper attacks, they have smaller area, but they're quicker, safer bet. And if you're holding the lock-on button, you will block based on whether you're holding it high or low. So, you know, kind of like The Witcher or
Poor or rich,
the stances, but there's only two stances. But, you know, it makes sword fights feel intense when you have to, like, guess where the attack's coming from. But sometimes attacks are difficult to guess, especially when they're using weirder weapons like guns. Where is the last armor? Right here. But it works. And then you can also press the B button to do like a punch or a kick, depending on high or low. And they don't do damage, but they do stun if they land. And if a guy is stunned, you can do a suplex, which does big damage. But you also have to do like motion control inputs. So like you grab a guy and you'll do like a flip things up to do flip them over, and like unlock different kinds of suplexes that fed in at random. Some have stronger effects. Like if you do a combo one, it'll usually actually kill the guy rather than just knock him down. Against normal enemies, it's kind of useless.
God's
But
blessings.
Against bosses, it does big damage. A lot more damage than sword attacks. Or you want to use it, but what's shitty is that bosses are stunning. You can't punch them. They just get stunned at random when combo attacks. So it's kind of like self-defeating system. I always hate when bosses are immune to game mechanics, because it encourages you to play a similar way. Like in every JRPG, bosses are more or less immune to buffs, like you can't poison them. So you're better off just doing like physical attacks rather than anything magical, because no point spending mana on something most of its damage through burning. The boss is not going to take any of the burn damage. Hit him. See it in all kinds of games. Very difficult to make bosses not immune. Oh, it always pisses me. Guy's the big money. Anything else? Oh,
Let's talk about...
That's... Alright.
Do you make anything out of copper, Master?
I do a bit of Damascene decor sometimes. Why do you ask?
I'm looking for someone who could do me some copper sheets.
Well, that's pretty rough and ready work. I wouldn't waste my time with it. But go and ask Zach from the craftsman's yard by the monastery. He's bought up all the copper to be had around here anyway.
What can you tell me about the blacksmiths here in Sasau?
Depends which ones you mean. In the town there's Mikesh. He's a decent man and an honest craftsman. And in the yard by the monastery there's Zach. But there's not many good words I can say about him.
Your rival.
Tell me something about Mikesh.
Like I said, he's an honest craftsman, which isn't something you can say about every blacksmith in town.
I don't know. Probably involved with.
What about the monastery blacksmith, Zach?
Well, him and me don't exactly see eye to eye. He wanted to buy my business, but I turned him down. Ever since then, he hasn't had a good word to say about me.
That'll be all. Thank you. Master Blacksmith, I've got a great offer for you.
Not now. First I've got to deal with that bastard Zach. Come to me afterwards.
Wanted to offer me the quest though.
Take care.
Okay, well, it sounds like I need to go back to Zach both for the investigation. Worry about the livestock later. This is the guy who has the quest. Talk to him. Could also be related to the one of the blacksmiths wants it. Obviously, some assemble it. I don't know if we will though. What was I saying? We're talking about the combat. Talked about stunning. And that's all there is to it. The game's not too long. It only took like 15 hours. So like, yeah, it's simple, but duplexes are fun to watch. Get like a couple of different weapons, and there are different enemy types that need different techniques to fight. Gun guys, obviously, guys, make sure you approach them all differently. Guys with other beam katanas, you gotta fight differently. And then each of the bosses, of course, that you fight, you go through 10 bosses. Obviously, you start at rank 11. Kill the first guy, first level. That puts you on 10. And you go. So not every boss is who they say they are. You don't necessarily fight all of them. Like, there's, I told you, I explained the game. So, like, obviously they're hunting each other as well. Maybe killing each other below you. So I think that there are exactly 10 regardless of that. Possibly 11. Count the end boss. I didn't count. So I said you had to pay money to get the location of the boss, and that's the thing. You gotta get money. Sure, the job itself pays, the assassin job. Like, you can break open chests and stuff to get coins, but for basically between every act, you will have to take on side jobs, which are like literal fucking jobs, like picking coconuts or mowing lawns and stuff. And you get like 2 new jobs, 1 or 2 new jobs after every mission, and you can redo them. You get ranks for gold medals and stuff. So it keeps things interesting, but none of them are particularly fun. And, you know, they recognize that they're not fun, and not too lucrative either. So after you do the job, you get recommended for an assassin gig. So you get a combat job you can do instead. And you can do those for rankings as well, and they pay a lot better. So you gotta do grinding. You can spend that money on upgrades for your sword, a new sword, or you can buy clothes for yourself. Go to the gym and increase your health and attack damage. And that's it. There are also like these balls you can collect, like CAD, and collecting like every 7 of those in bar and cashing it for some kind of perk, like seeing enemies.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
I need a skilled swordsmith in Privis Labbits who'll put good, strong steel in my men's hands. Are you interested?
What? Now? When I'm on the verge of forging the most powerful weapon ever seen? The Queen of Sheba's sword? No, I've no time now for anything else.
You want me to do that whole ass side quest where I can recruit this guy? Are you kidding me?
Any chance of some work?
Probably doesn't take that long if I look up locations.
Come to think, there is one rather delicate matter to attend to. A while ago, a holy man came by here. He said he'd come from the Holy Land, and he was selling various relics he'd collected on his travels to pay his way.
I see.
Well, I heard he had some fragments of a sacred sword that once belonged to the fabled Czech Queen of Sheba. But by the time he reached me, he had no pieces left of the sword. All he had was some dubious wares, splinters from our Lord's cross, thorns from the crown, nothing of interest to me.
And where did the pieces of the sword go?
He sold them off to swordsmiths and blacksmiths hereabouts. They just keep them lying around at home for good luck. If I had them, I'd forge them back into a sword. Can you even imagine what power it would command? If you could get me all the pieces of the sword, I'd repay you very handsomely.
Isn't it a bit strange that some pilgrim would have something so valuable?
Are you suggesting he might have been lying? Well, people aren't to be trusted, but this is nothing to joke about. God would smite him in a flash if he made light of holy relics that way.
What kind of power did this sword have?
What do you think? It brought its bearer good luck in combat and protection from enemies.
Just a sword.
Where can I find the powers?
Like I said, the smith hereabouts bought them from him. They say the largest piece is with the Ratai swordsmith. The bastard probably won't want to sell. But if you manage to swipe it somehow...
I could do with a sword like that. What if you sold it to me?
Well, everything has its price. But this one would be expensive. Getting hold of the bits is one thing. Forging them back together is quite another. That tinkerer from Ratai couldn't manage it.
Well, it does sound very interesting. I'll ask them and see what I can do.
Excellent. You'll see you won't regret it. I'll pay you well.
See you later.
Okay, talking about the jobs, right? You don't have to do too many of them. Like, if you're just doing each thing once, you get enough money. And sometimes I even had enough money for the next chapter as soon as the last one. Because I was getting gold medals on most. The things that pay the most are sadly the fights, which are sometimes frustratingly difficult because you just have to fight like a couple waves of enemies, but you only have one hit. So, you know, you get boot out, go through a loading screen, activate the again, get message. No quick restart on it. You gotta figure out like the optimal path to take, how to bait out enemies without tracking ones, how to deal with specific enemies. Like, it took a while to get through. But again, you don't have to grind too much. However, when you unlock the final sword, it costs like almost as much as the entry fee for the final fight. And so if you want to buy that, you will have to grind out a lot of money afterwards. Really brought the game to like a big halt. And then after the final fight, there is like another secret boss, which is only unlocked if you bought that sword to begin with. And that is, or to buy the upgrades for the sword. One of them gets what's the attack damage upgrade. And the other one, which gives you infinite battery life, is crazy expensive. I did not even bother trying to buy that. That would be like a massive amount of grinding. Forgot to mention the battery life. Yeah, your sword has a battery. And it runs out when you attack, like a little bit. If you do a charge attack, it takes a massive chunk of it. And blocking attacks also drains it pretty fast. But to recharge it, you have to like stop in the middle of combat and jerk off the remote. So like, not only is it exhausting for your arm to do, but it's also just difficult to find time. Especially in a boss fight. And it's funny, it's goofy, but it's also a little frustrating as a mechanic. What am I doing? I'm trying to get to the blacksmith. So I didn't bother with that. I just went man mode and actually took on the hard-ass true ending boss myself. And it took me quite a few tries. I actually had to take a break the first time because my fingers got too tired. My fingers and my arms were tired. I needed to sleep on it, but I got him the next day.
God's blessings.
So back to that copper, Master Blacksmith.
What?
That's not what I heard.
What?
What?
I was told in town that you bought all the other blacksmiths' copper.
I'm being made a fool of yet again, it seems. Anything else? I still have work to do.
Bullshit.
The swordsmith from the town said he was after the pieces of a sword from some Queen of Sheba. A pilgrim was selling them a while back.
I know he's after those, but he's out of luck. He should have bought it while he had the chance. I still have mine on me. It brings me good fortune, and I shan't sell it.
Not even...
Not even for a king's ransom.
Take
that. You son of a bitch. Well,
I am at your service.
Your father says you don't work any copper.
We don't.
Yeah,
I've heard
okay.
differently around town. They say your father's bought up all the copper to be had.
Are you calling me a liar? Or my father? You're asking for it, boy.
Hurt. He's pretty strong, actually. Sitting here by Radzig, you peasant.
You're right. It's nothing to me either way.
Right. So clear off.
I mean, besides the fact I'm here on behalf of the Royal Burgrave Sir Radzig Cobbler, investigating a grievous crime against the crown.
What? What are you talking about?
I'd let you read my bill of authority, but I doubt you're educated enough to understand it.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realise. If I'd known, of course I wouldn't. I mean, you understand, don't you?
Stop prattling, for God's sake, and start telling me the truth. What's the story with the copper at your forge?
You're right. We do make copper sheets here at night.
Dad comes out from behind with his fucking hammer.
So why all the secrecy about it?
Father forbade me to talk about it. I don't know why. I didn't ask.
Who buys those sheets from you?
I don't know. I've never set eyes on him. Father doesn't like to talk about it.
Your father has some serious explaining to do.
I'm so sorry. If I'd known who you were, I'd never have taken such liberties.
Thou shall not lie.
Never mind. You weren't to know who I am. You were just protecting your father's business interests like any good son.
Thank you.
God be with you.
God.
Take care.
Alright, your son spilled the beans and I'm boiling.
So back to that copper, Master Blacksmith.
What? I thought I told you I don't work with copper.
Your son put it quite differently.
What's that? What are you blabbering on about?
Don't be angry with him.
Christ.
I didn't give him any choice.
All right. I suppose there's no point lying. We do make copper sheets here, and I wanted to keep it quiet.
Why?
Pays me good money, and the people I do it for. I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of them.
Did they threaten you?
They didn't have to. Just by the look of them, I could say I needed to shut my mouth and do what they wanted.
And did they ever tell you who they were? Do you know where to find them?
I know a little. I'd show some understanding. There's nothing but trouble in it for me. I'll lose the work and be left looking over my shoulder for some thugs to come and burn down my house. Or worse.
If you don't cooperate, you'll be getting a lot worse than that from me.
There's no need for threats. We can both benefit here. If I tell you everything I know, you can help me with a certain small matter. One that'll cover up for my loss of earnings.
Dare you try and make deals with me?
You've got cheek. Not only are you in with the counterfeiter gang, but you lied to me on top of it. You should be on your knees begging for mercy right now, not trying to make a profit.
I didn't know what they were doing.
But now you do know, and you've still got the cheek to try to strike a deal with me. So Rads are definitely going to be hearing about this.
You're right. I'm sorry, I overstepped the mark. I certainly didn't mean to offend one of Lord Radzig's men. One evening I got a visit from this scruffy beggar calling himself Rapota. He had a yellow cape on and kept whistling to himself. There was a knight with him too, but he didn't give his name. They told me what I had to do, how much I'd get for it, and I had to keep my mouth shut.
And where can I find this Rapota? Or the knight?
I don't know exactly. But I've always left the wagon with the goods behind the monastery, on the hill there, next to a small chapel under a big tree.
Anything else?
We raided that camp.
No. I swear that's all I know.
Well, that'll do me for now.
Young man, about that matter I need help with. I'll gladly pay you.
Oh. My main quest is called Ramp.
First, tell me what's going on.
I recently tried to buy Master Armourer Otto Rabstein's business for my son Vitus, but that old fool wouldn't listen to reason. He said he couldn't understand his legacy being taken over by a clod like my Vitus. Despite the insult, I doubled my offer, but Master Otto still wouldn't budge.
And what is it you need from me?
I thought I'd show Otto that Vitus isn't such a dolt as he thinks, but for that I need someone experienced in combat.
Can you handle that?
Well, that doesn't sound so bad. What's your plan?
Otto's busy making a very pretty suit of armor for the bailiff. So I was thinking, if we could show that pretty armor of his is absolutely useless, he'd be disgraced.
And how am I supposed to see to that?
Well, I'd reckon we'd arrange a duel of champions with bludgeons. You'll put on Vitus's armor, and Otto will send his champion in that tin shit of his. You invite the bailiff to watch, and Otto will be made a laughingstock in front of everyone.
Then what do I get out of it?
Vitus will let you have the cuirass from his suit of armor, and I'll throw in a few groschen on top.
Sounds good.
Huh.
And I'm sure a fella like you would be glad to be on good terms with the best armorer for miles around, eh?
That remains to be seen.
Henry.
But what if I lose?
Nonsense. How could you? Vitus's armor is light as an eggshell and hard as a rock.
And steel harder than rock.
Do you really think that will work?
Otto's always mouthing off in the alehouse that my young lad isn't worth a damn. Once I show he's just a bitter old bastard spouting hot air, his business will be ruined, and Vitus will reap the reward. What with all the strife in the country these days, there'll be no end of work for a good armourer.
All right.
Agreed. I'll get to work on it.
Wonderful. Go to Otto first and talk him into it. Then go to the bailiff so he can announce it and get spectators. The more people see it, the better. We'll bring the armor to you at the combat arena.
Good luck then.
Get it. Alright, what was we talking about? The grind? Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad, but, you know, it was still an issue that people knew about, and in the second game, we got rid of the grind. I also mentioned the ball collecting. That was, like, abysmal at first. Until I unlocked the sprint move, which you can't even cash them in until you've done, like, 3 or 4 fights. But basically, until I unlocked the sprint, you just walk so fucking slow. It is absolutely slow collecting them. And they're not even marked on the map until you get the quest to cash them in, so, like, it's kind of pointless for that anyway. Then you have your bike, which is, like, hard to control, and through an empty-ass city, the only thing to do is, like, pick dumpsters to get free t-shirts and the occasional bit of money, and collect balls. And, there are also, like, treasures buried underground. You get a treasure tracker as one of the sword upgrades, and you can, like, poke at the ground to try and find it, and it's really finicky. You have to be really precise. Poke around at random. So they are marked on your map. The mini-map is, like, pixelated, though, so it's not like it gives you exact location. You have a rough idea what pixel it's on. Yeah, it felt empty, and that's why they cut it out in the second game. I've only played a little bit of so far. Like, I'm playing it actively, but again, that's something's probably going to go on hold for a bit soon. Or they changed it to a more menu-based thing, which is appreciated, especially when you fail one of the assassination jobs. Some of them are difficult. You'd have to just run back to the job place and pick up the job again. You can quick restart. It was rather frustrating, and being able to do that through a fast travel menu so much.
Good men, good wives, come have a look. Don't be shy. You'll never see such fine meat.
Oh, I forgot about the movie store. Had videos. You can pick up, like, pro wrestling tapes to unlock additional flexes. Apparently Travis is, like, an ex-wrestler, too. Get messages at, like, the level. He's also, like, a fucking dork-ass otaku. I forgot to mention that. This guy's a fucking loser, in addition to being a broke-ass. And, you know, that makes him relatable. He's our protagonist.
You look like you've been assaulted.
Not Nathan Drake, who's too perfect to actually exist. He's like... It's funny, he literally acted like my old friend Angel. And Angel's the one who told me about the games to begin with. Got the from on... Or finished it. I played it on Switch, but...
Master Armorer, I have a message for you from Blacksmith Zach.
If it's another one of his so-called generous offers, you can go straight back and tell him I'm not selling, and that's that.
No, this is another matter. Vitus wants to challenge you to a duel.
What? Me fight with that brat? Zach must have lost his mind entirely.
That's not how it will be. The real duel will be between your pieces of handiwork.
How's that?
It will be a duel with bludgeons. No bloodshed. At most, a few bruises and some dents in the armor. Zack chose me to wear Vitus armor.
And so I'm to choose a champion of my own? That sounds reasonable.
Good. So let's agree on the time and place.
Hold your horses, young fella. I've got a counter offer for you. Now, I'm sure Zack is paying you well.
Yeah.
I won't deny it.
I could pay you more. And I'd tailor-make a cuirass just for you. What do you say?
You mean if I fight as your champion instead? I'm not sure how Zack would take it.
No. You fight on Zack's side and lose.
Well, that's dishonorable.
That's not very honourable.
And Zack's constant slander and mudslinging are the height of honour, are they?
Challenging you to a fair duel, dude. Why are you acting like a pussy?
Zack might be acting the scoundrel, but why lower yourself to his level? You should show you're the better man.
Better than that, upstart. I'm a master of my craft, boy. I've made armour for the Lords of Kunstadt. I've no need to prove anything to anyone. So, are you going to help me or not?
Now, I'd like to see how Vitus's armor is. He was trained in Kunenberg. You should actually give the kid a chance.
Nah, forget it. I won't sully my name with cheating.
Suit yourself. But my champion will batter you into the ground anyway, so you've nothing to gain.
So,
okay, boomer.
Choose the time and place.
What, me?
You're the one being challenged, so it's your right.
Well, it's all the same to me. Go and sort it out with the bailiff. He should know about it anyway, so I don't look like a troublemaker.
All right?
Good luck to you.
Yeah, he, like, looks and dresses exactly like a friend of mine. Haven't talked to him in a long time, though, sadly. He's pretty funny, Travis. I mean, he don't talk too much. He just says, like, fuck you a lot in the main gameplay, like, very school shooter vibes. In fact, one of the levels is you literally go into a high school, flash up the staff, to get to one of the students who's the target. It's not as horrible as it sounds. These guys are all, like, faceless goons. They have weapons. Not, like, teachers, but pretty sure they're supposed to be the staff. And, like, you learn about the history of the town through doing the jobs. It's, like, a pretty lawless place. It's called Santa de Croix, which is, like, on the border of Mexico, so I guess it's supposed to be Santa Monica. Like, worse. The public violence is kind of a natural thing. Town of anarchy. Bailiff was closer to the place than I thought. I don't mean to make that level sound as bad as it is. It is nowhere near the level of the airport from Modern Warfare 2.
Relics and saints from Italy, altar candles from France, and
Good God, you look terrible. Did someone attack you?
Oh.
I'm here on behalf of Blacksmith Zack.
Zack? What does that madman want now? Don't tell me. It's another complaint about the Master Armorer. Well, you can tell Zack if you waste another minute of my time with that pathetic feud of his. I'll have him up for disrespecting the office of the bailiff.
No, it's not a complaint this time. In fact, Zack came up with an idea to settle the dispute once and for all.
Is that so? Well, that's a different kettle of fish. That's just what I was after. You have my full attention, friend. What's his plan?
A duel.
Jesus Christ! Has he lost his wits entirely?
Don't worry, Goodman Bailiff. No one will get killed. It will only be a duel with bludgeons. Zack chose me as his champion. I'll be wearing a suit of armor made by his son, Vitus, and I'll fight Otter's champion. Whoever falls first, loses.
That sounds like a fine spectacle for the village green. Naturally, I'll have to be present to ensure nothing untoward happens.
Your presence is certainly expected, Bailiff. We'd like you to referee the whole duel.
Very well. We'll have it on the marketplace in the front of the church. But when?
That's up to you.
We can announce it right now.
Let's do it.
I'll have it announced around town. You come along at just the right time. It'll be a fine show for the townsfolk, and I'll finally get that pair and their constant squabbling off my back. Good luck, then.
Good citizens of Sasau, our township has long been plagued by a protracted dispute. As you are no doubt aware, Zack, the blacksmith of the monastery courtyard, and Master Armourer Otto Rabstein have been, for some time, at odds.
Ha ha! Added hammer and tongs, more like!
And in so much as it behoves my office as bailiff to settle such disputes and maintain peace and order, I have decided to resolve the blacksmith's quarrel by unconventional means, whilst affording an entertaining spectacle. In short, we shall let them knock each other's teeth out. However, since it ill befits two respectable tradesmen to maul each other on the market square like a pair of cocks on a dung heap, each of them has elected a champion. Zack, the blacksmith, has appointed to fight in his stead Henry of Scarlets. And Master Otto Rabstein's champion will be... Please, introduce yourself, Sir Knight.
Master Otter will fight for Master Otter. I don't need some young pup to take my place.
I remind you that this will be a
You
duel
need a man to make a better helmet to flip through your chainmail, bro.
And until first blood is shed. Come, folks, be sensible for heaven's sake. We don't want any maiming here, or, God forbid, murder. So, if both contestants are ready, let us begin.
First blood, does that mean I can only lose stamina? One more complicated. This is what helmets look like, and it's why we don't use them if we're full. Yeah! I'm actually okay with the top of the screen being black, it's just the sides and the bottom. A little too cruising.
Fuck!
Come here, Lily.
Dopsy Jerry.
Take that!
You kicked that old bastard's ass, Henry. His ears will be ringing for a month. Now everyone will see who knows how to make armor and who's all hot air.
Naked.
I must say, I worked up quite a sweat.
No doubt. The main thing is you won. Anyway, come by the forge later for your reward.
All right?
All right. Stuff back on. So kind of spoiled like the big part of the story, but you can see it coming from a mile away. And like, I think the end of the second or third mission, Travis figures out that he's like, fucking this horror game now. So it's not completely like revealed that the whole thing's a fucking scam. But you know, there are other surprises left in the story aside from that. Ambiguous. So really, Travis doesn't give a shit. At the end of the first fight, he makes a deal that if he rank 1, the assassin president chick do it. So that's the real motivation here. And you know, at first she's like, "Eh, whatever, you fucking lose." But you know, as you get closer to rank 1, it starts to be into the idea. It happened. Ew. Can't spoil that. Yeah, I can. The game's like more than 15 years. Okay, so you run into her husband a few times. He's actually your twin brother, who killed in the true ending, and he's actually a really hard boss, but I just saved some. Anyway, yeah, she's married, and you slam your twin brother's wife. So that's a pretty big flex. Funny. Get like a pretty big lore dump after beating him. What really went on behind the scenes. Whereas the normal ending you get otherwise is kind of just a joke, and there's no feature on it. It literally like cuts to credits while you're taking a shit and a guy kicks in your door to kill you. So you gotta be shitting me.
I'd like to buy some grain.
You want to buy grain?
But then...
That's what I said. I'm in charge of renewing the village.
Well, I never. So Sir Divish really...
Looks like it.
Well, it's all the same to me. How many bushels?
I'll need fodder for horses, at least 10 strong out, and wheat for the baker.
I can arrange that. Only you'll have to put a share back into the Sasau coffers to cover the cost of the...
I understand.
Have you got someone to
I've got a merchant.
This is the...
Well... cheaper than what I'm paying, isn't it? Does this like override my current cost?
I'll shake on that.
Take care.
Hope so.
Not a grain of respect.
What was I saying? Right, so if you bought all the weapons, you get, the cutscene goes like past that part, and you end up fighting the husband of, like, he kills the guy who's about to kill you. Fucking pants up. And boy is he fucking hard. He has like at least 3 times the health of the previous boss you fought. All the bosses are like eccentric characters, and Travis always has some funny banter with them. Blade's character maybe reveals a little about himself. One that's like a magician, you get called on stage for your guy in the audience. Participating in a trick, and then you challenge him to a duel after you like fake murder solves. But when you're talking about yourself, you reveal that your parents were fucking murdered at some point. Shit. That's just the kind of guy Travis is. He's very selfish. But that, like, plays into the story later on. Like, I guess he has amnesia or something. The final boss is, like, a surprise in itself. It's kind of a funny thing where her backstory is so generic that they actually fast forward it. And you just see, like, him making, or exaggerated reactions to it while it's doing the fast forward. But if you were to screen cap the cutscene, slow it back down, they do in fact tell the story to it. From that, they're just like one-off characters. They all have unique fighting styles, like the main long, difficult fights. They all die. Most of them die. So, you know, you get to build on. Like, hard to keep my sense of direction while talking. I have to talk about the gym. So at the gym, you can do, I think it's dumbbells. Like, you have to lift your foot and nunchuck, or in my case, guns like this. Them to increase the length of your combo with each thigh. And you can lift them both at once for squat training, for health, and that one's used. Then, the attack damage strength training is you lifting barbell bench press. That you have to mash the A button. And naturally, it becomes harder to mash as you go up and get closer to 10. They only give you just enough time to do it. So, my thumb is, like, getting cramps. I am, like, exhausted while doing this. It gets to the point where I am, like, hyperventilating just to keep up the button pressing. It still fails most of the time. It was fucking intense. Like, the hardest button mash I've done in my goddamn life. It feels just like lifting a goddamn bench.
I am at your service.
See you later.
My solution? Don't use your thumb. Switch to your index finger, because it's a lot faster to press. I was able to do it a fairly more. Button mashing's still pretty intense, but I never got to hyperventilating.
God save you, good night. What?
I'll come for my reward.
So I think it's funny that I was like,
And thanks again, lad.
working out as a gamer, you know? That actually paid off in the game. You can press the A button so much faster now.
And will Otter sell you his business?
I don't know, but the way things are looking now, his trade will soon be dead as a doornail anyway.
You told me I'd get that kiras made by Vitus, and a few groschen on top.
I did. And I'm a man of my word. Here you are.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Camp's Rest. Dude, this is like a really nice armor. Does happen to be noisier though. That it matters, armor. But something I probably should have done along. I gotta ask him though.
I'd like to make you Have you heard about
Oh, aye. I heard something about that. What of it?
I'm bailiff there, and I'm rebuilding. We're planning to build an armorsmith shop there.
And you want me to run it? That'd be great. Come and see me when it's ready.
Alright.
See you later.
Okay, so I don't know, I have like mixed feelings on the story. Like, again, you can see the whole scamming coming from a mile away, but it's still an interesting scam and our other by the end. But like for the first fights 1 through like 4, they're pretty by the numbers. Work, pay your bill, do the fight, and you get back to your house and there's like a funny cutscene. You'll go to your answering machine and you'll get a call from the video store telling you to return. Funny name. And like fans be like, yeah, you returned a video, but it wasn't How to Make Love to a Woman Volume 3. It was just a video of a guy humping a body pill. Seems he recorded himself following the instructions and returned that instead. Or another one, like, yeah, you just wasn't one of our videos. It's actually a bootleg recording of one. But it's not even the full thing. It stops after like 4 minutes. Probably means that he turned the video off after he came. That's why I would never buy porn. Way too much money. Quickly. I like lose. I'll always have the offliner. It is fucking up. Oh well, that just encourages me. Threat to it. Just make my way back up. It's lab. It's come back down here, I guess. Maybe save the game back down, and we'll actually. How's that sound, guy? Or I can do more Band of Bastards stuff. I see that's on too.
Yeah.
Right, so what are we talking about? Story. I don't know, I liked it. Just like very by the number. Not that it wasn't cool. It's just you felt like you kept doing the same thing, you know, you were stuck in the logging fights for one. And like the boss fights were the only real thing of value. The normal enemies go down pretty. The weird thing though is like despite how like brutal the fights are, like people are losing shit, Travis is like a cartoon fighting. Sometimes just opponent steps on landmines all the time in the one level cannot. Goes flying, comes back down.
Everything's for work, though.
Yeah.
It seems that he's almost like a Deadpool kind of character. He has control over the media that maybe he has a director control of the certain thing. Fast forwarding. Like he can change the genre on his flip time if he wants. One of the missions you don't even do any fighting, it's like a shoot 'em up stage instead. I've only played a little bit of 2 again, but I think that might actually be the case. Building into the angle of his character, ultimate Saku. Turn anything into a game. The only real complaint I have is just one, overworld was kind of like empty feeling, but it take too long for the most part, just that little bit of grinding it. And the motion controls were simply imprecise. I don't know if that's because it was a port from the Wii Switch, or if the Joy-Cons were just that inaccurate, or they never worked very well to begin with, but I don't know, swiping specific directions just didn't work out so well for me, and like one part in the final mission, you had to like do a flip on your Joy-Con to jump your for a bridge. I failed that like time. I had to fuck them up.
Yeah.
Really sucked. Surprised it was an enjoyable time. Again, things were a little too simplistic, but it didn't overdo it. And the game obviously sold very well because it got like a big budget. Way better, sounds way better. Got more mechanical stuff that very polished feeling so far at least. And you know, it was funny. Though not serious. I'm pretty sure the story in 2 is a lot better. Not that it was bad again. Funny. Plus. Oh, a mechanic that was lost on me, but I remember because I did play a little bit of the... You know how the Wiimote has a speaker on it? Right before a boss fight, you get phone calls from Assassin. And she's like, oh, you're not gonna win, but just in case, make sure you go to the bathroom game and, you know, powder your nose. You know, I'm just 1,000,000% sure you're gonna die, but don't go to the garden and anyway, when she calls you, you like pick up and she talks through the phone. You know. Small thing that's lost on all the ports. It was cool when it happened.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
That's about it. Like, if it was a long game, I probably would have like felt a little went on like, but for what it was, I wish there were more ways to like get stronger, more moves, such what choose from, but they're just fine. Totally cool with all of it. Good experience and paved the way that I can already tell is better. So, like, I'm glad it exists. I'm just surprised that it sold as well as it did. It will probably get like a 6 as well. Which, again, 6, slightly above average. I know IGN has standardized 7 as being okay. But, you know, 7 is actually a pretty good. So a 6, still pretty good.
I want to build some.
Certainly.
Huh?
I'd rather not. I want to build some.
Certainly.
Bakery.
Well, people have to eat, and bread is a must. So let's build a bakery.
Let's go to the site. I'll see to the building.
Guess we also have time to talk about Vampire Survivor. Very simplistic game, so...
We're gonna build here?
Indeed.
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything. All good.
So... It's set up like a twin stick, except you can play it completely one-handed. You just can use select items to pick up something. So it's a one-handed game. You can jerk off while playing this. Like, because your pick's gonna be hard the whole time. Basically, monsters come at you from all sides, and you got a character. You start with just the whip man. Whip attacks horizontally. Kind of shitty. Considering the enemies come from all sides. But you get upgrades when you level up, right? So the whip can attack behind you eventually. You get the one projectile, but you get other items or character upgrades from increased projectiles. You start attacking like above more, so you'll go 1, 2, 3, and like you'll go horizontally and above you. Doesn't sound crazy useful, but considering there's no goal to run to, it turns moving upwards into like, direction, and that's actually. And every weapon has its own perks. That's what I'm getting at. Like, there's the garlic, which just does all damage around you. Actually, really useful on some maps, depending on what enemies are on it. Like the first map has bats, and the garlic will just cut them. Chase down the bats rather than running away and dodging them. You can run into. When enemies die, they drop experience as like gems, and you have to walk over them. Or upgrades that increase your pickup range a little bit, and it also does. But it starts off being very up at first. I get this upgrade for the bakery. Right, I talked about upgrades in the menu. You pick up gold coins sometimes, those make your pretty, and you can use those to upgrade stats for all your characters. Or make the game harder. One of them is just like a curse. Enemies stronger. You unlock new things to purchase by doing challenges and finding items, beating specific levels.
I want to build something.
Certainly.
We could add a fruit drying hut for the baker, so he can bake even better pastries and even fruit pies in the winter.
Good. We've got everything.
You have 2 weapon types, like the top row hold like them. There's weapons and they're like passive things. 6 of each. And then some of them will combo together and like make a fuse weapon. So you might pick 2 so they can get fused together, and then you free up a slot for a another thing later on. Or they can combo with the passive item. Like, try and make a build based on what comes available. And you get more freedom with that later on, and you get stuff like re-rolling your level up. Or some maps will have items lying on the ground, and you can pick those up, either for freebie, or after you're in full, you can pick them up and get more than 6 items.
We're gonna build here?
Yes. Shall we?
I'm ready.
I'll just quick... All good.
Sometimes boss enemies will spawn, they have a lot of health, you kill them, they'll drop a chest. And that chest will have items in it as well, with a chance to drop more than just... Oh, I can do that, that's sick. I need here to make it into... So there's like strategy to it, like build-wise, and you unlock other characters, again, by doing challenges, or finding the coffins level. It's gonna play like aimlessly at first until you unlock more levels. Future levels will have artifacts and give game mechanics. Like one of them will be an encyclopedia that unlocks the weapon fuse, a map that shows you where the stuff is, like the coffin. You have to get strong enough in time to clear the coffin and that'll get you a character. Like, they add micro goals, but there's still no real goal. You're playing until you die, which it happens at like 30 minutes. But there are also challenges to make it to 31 minutes, so like there are ways to stay alive a little. Yeah, 1100. Trader's costs went down. Got a better deal. Still not profitable though. That's a shame. Upgrades all have upkeep. Okay, disgruntled laborers only lost me people. I don't think it's costing me. That costs 5,000. Cost. It should make me money, honestly. Forge takes 50. All it takes is charcoal. So if I build the, I will. Makes money too. Forge. Art house make. tavern. I guess I should go for first thousands. Time in 18 last time, so we're probably at like 2. I think I just want to do this around here. Yeah, I'll run straight to Sasau and we'll do that quest. If
What's the matter here?
This bitch here tried to kill me. Have her clapped in the stocks where she belongs.
That's not true, Master Bailiff, sir. He got drunk, like he always does, and ate who knows what kind of slop somewhere.
You know very well what it was what poisoned me. You're trying to get rid of me and don't think I don't know it.
Enough. One at a time. Tell me what happened. What makes you think she tried to poison you?
She hates me. She wants to put me in the ground and then take the farm. I can see it in her eyes. She's just wishing for the day I'm dead. But she'll never see it, because I'll throw her out on her ear.
Throw me out? From my own home? You useless ale-swilling pig! Have you forgotten who got you a roof over your head?
Just look at her, sir. You can see for yourself what a harpy she is. I came home after 1 or 2 ales at the tavern, ate my supper, what was left on the table for me, and went to bed. And in the morning, I woke up with my guts in agony. My head was on fire. I thought my last hour had come. If it wasn't for the old herb woman, she'd already have me in the ground.
Have you forgotten the part about battering me and throwing up in the doorway?
Shut your mouth, you whore!
Okay.
Quiet. Good wife, tell me your side of the story.
Sir, that beast is good for nothing but drinking away my dowry with his cronies. If he puts his hand to a flail at all, it's only to beat me with it. We were thrown out of the farm near Ledechko that I got as a dowry, because this fool let it go to ruin and got us into debt too.
They threw us out because you wouldn't back me up to the bailiff.
Because I couldn't hold my head up if I lied to cover your useless arse.
That's got nothing to do with you poisoning me.
He boozes from morning till night and beats me. Says I don't take good enough care of him. And all he does is sit on his ass expecting me to run around cooking and cleaning for him. And now he wants to drive me out of the village, saying I tried to kill him. What would I do then?
You probably did try to kill him. You seem very emotional. But I wouldn't blame you. I'm not sure what the right answer is. Do I keep the useless farmer? Or did this woman actually try to...
Tell me about how you were poisoned, as you claim.
I came home, and there was a bowl of cabbage soup and a pitcher of wine on the table. So I had it and went to bed. I woke up in the early hours and had to run to the outhouse. Spewing from both ends I was. I was burning up so much you could light a torch off me. And this witch here laughing up her sleeve. She wouldn't even call the herb woman for me.
If I had to call the herb woman every time you get boozed up, she might as well move in with us.
When I was writhing in agony on the ground, I heard her say clear as day, "Ha! You got what was coming to you."
Is that true?
No, he's lying.
What do you think happened, good wife?
Nothing what hasn't been 100 times before. He was crooked as a bishop again, and I could already hear him in the courtyard, retching and spewing. I had his supper waiting on the table, because otherwise there'd be hell to pay. Only there's no pleasing the pig. Where's the meat? and what have you. And when I told him God's honest truth that there's no meat 'cause he drank all our money away, he laid into me like a madman.
One slap was all you got. What was less than you deserved for your evil tongue?
I ran off and hid in the barn till he'd calmed down. When I could hear him snoring like a pig, I came inside again. After a while, he started throwing up and he was spewing till dawn. Who knows what he ate when he was boozed up? Or it was the booze itself done it.
And what about the herb woman?
I went for her in the end. 3 groschen I had to give her for some wormwood potion. I could have done that myself for nothing. And then he claimed I poisoned him.
Yeah, alright. You didn't poison him. As a dickhead.
Now, I've heard enough.
He beats his wife, he drinks a lot, and then he doesn't understand the difference between diarrhea. And she went herself to get the antidote. Like, she obviously did. You've just not gotten that, and not paid the 3 grosh and like.
You, farmer, won't touch another drop of booze, or I'll leave you in the stocks to dry out. And if you raise your hand to your wife again, I'll take a bludgeon to you.
But a drink or two?
No buts. There'll be no half measures with you.
Thank you, Master Bailiff. Thank you 1,000-fold. You're a wise and just man.
Alice must be sober. That mean the crime if you beat someone up while drunk? Huh. I never considered that. Like, is it a lesser offense if you're drunk? Life or otherwise, like a bar brawl? Obviously, Henry's never gotten arrested. And, like, you know what I just did, taking the side, that's probably on. This goes into the profits of the tavern, plus money. Lives are in. Thirsty soul. I had the barracks in. All of these look new. We'll get more structures. Anyways, we're gonna ride back down. Sasau and my markers. Old deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
What they're talking about? Right, so the game, again, it's simple. You play it one. There does start to be a bit of strategy to it for a little bit, especially once you get the map and boards. But once you pick them up, they're picked up, and it goes back to just running and it is satisfying though, and there are a lot of characters to unlock. Each character has like different bonuses. Like they'll have a passive bonus, a different starting weapon, which might be a weapon you haven't even unlocked yet. Well, it's just stat differences. So, for example, the character Poe starts with the garlic, so he can just run into guys, and he also has increased pickup range. Or the... God, I don't know names. Remember, there's like a knife guy. He starts with the throwing knife. Go whichever direction you're moving. And he starts with like +1 projectiles. So any projectile-based weapon is going to be from his passive. So like the character you pick can influence what weapons you or which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Considering that they're all the same, like every character isn't just like playing the other characters or benefits the ones. And eventually you unlock these tarot cards, which give additional passive bonuses to big weapons. And you unlock more tarot cards by reaching level 50 character. So there are reasons to play all of them, even if you don't necessarily like the starting weapons of some of them. And like that adds like additional layer of depth to each build that you do. So, you know, the game does somehow become more satisfying as you play, despite being so simplistic. The form has not off just yet. And see, it was in early access, and during that time it was only $6, but the complete version is out, and it costs $5. Still pretty cheap. And I definitely put in a lot of time. Yeah. I don't think that the videos do it justice. Like, I thought it looked kind of stupid and boring. I couldn't tell what the hell was going on. You're just standing still, surrounded by enemies, and they were dying, and nothing else was happening. That kind of is the game. Like, you're just killing shit, but it feels so good. You need to be the one on the sticks to understand. Kind of like Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just slot machine. Do the thing. Flash. And you start to snowball like it's finding him. And there is some legit challenge to it. It starts off hard and then you figure it out and it gets a little easy. Hard again. Not like completely brain dead. I think that if you're a fan of like shmups, stuff where you're dodging bullets and well stuff, you'll probably see the appeal.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'd say it's probably a great thing to have on your phone, play it on the shitter, but the runs are actually kind of long. Again, you go to like 30 minutes. And you unlock a turbo mode to like speed it up with XP gains. Be 15 minutes runs. So it's pretty long. Too long for a mobile game. And it would also probably melt your phone's processor because sometimes not killing the enemies fast enough. Flag is punishment and a sign that I'm about to fucking die. So I just wish there was like a definitive ending. There might be. I haven't done everything quite yet, but I've unlocked all the levels. And the funniest part is, seems like there are no actual vampires in Vampire Survivors. Just spooky things, bats, demons, mermen, stuff that's all like Castlevania inspired. No actual vampires. The sprites are all cute. Again, they look like Castlevania or Castlevania-inspired things. But they're, like, not animated at all. Everything just has a walk cycle. They don't attack. Really funny. It's the most basic shit possible. Still, you know, work easy, get paid more. That's the goal of being a working class man. So whatever they did, it worked for a man. You gotta respect it. You did. Love it for them. Oh yeah, makes my monkey brain go clap with the symbols. That's all there is to it. 10 out of 10. probably, I don't know. It's a little too simple for that, honestly, but like, I don't have anything negative to say about it. Like, it's fun for all the wrong reasons. Where's the tavern master? Let me buy a room.
God's bless.
Have you got a bed for?
Certainly. For how long?
Just the one.
No problem.
That's too.
Sweet. Good luck.
Maybe if I talk to Tobias, the game will save. No, there's a... His name. Not Matthew, it's not Fritz, it's Tobias. Broke his fucking leg, he's dead.
Yeah.
Safe bet. Over here in this thing. But maybe the quest over here popped up because he's here and it's Anka.
Yeah.
Coach Cap. Place to save. I know I have Shaver. Rather not.
God save, Henry.
Go talk to Tobias. Stay far. Different Tobias, probably. He definitely starts with, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cabbage. Salami.
God bless you.
Yeah. Goddamn.
I'm here about them.
Excellent.
I didn't get round to having a proper look. I came across...
What's that?
Nemoy and his gang were...
And we've been through this conversation. I went to investigate and never came back.
You look different, Master.
So as to fit in. I don't want it known that I'm in town.
It was Nemoy. He got away. I was supposed to chase him down and talk to him, I guess, but he's gone. So we went back.
Right.
So what have you found out so...
I found out where they get the copper sheets from.
Really? So tell me.
It's the smith on the monastery craftsman's yard. He supplies the counterfeiters.
Do you know how he gets the goods to them?
No. All I know is that someone called Rapporteur collected the goods.
Not much, but it's a start. Listen, Henry. I had another thought on the way here. Those counterfeiters have to have a punch die to make the fake coins.
Yes, of course.
That's sophisticated work. There's a man I know who works at the monastery yard. Master engraver Jerome of Silesia.
You don't suppose that he's...
No, not that, God forbid. I know him well. He'd never do anything like that. But he runs an engraving workshop, so he might have heard something.
Very well, I'll ask him.
But ask with tact. I don't want him getting offended. And I prefer you not to mention me at all.
I'll try to think of something. I found out where they get their quicksilver from. You were right, it was the monastery.
It was the only logical explanation.
It changed hands on the hill behind the monastery.
Have you been there to have a look around?
I have, but I didn't find anything interesting.
And have you found out who's behind it?
Rapporteur, once again.
The same scoundrel.
That's all.
Goodbye.
Here we go, game save, perfect. Alright, guys, well, hopefully I have a normal week next time. Should be back in a week. I don't have a normal week. I have like 1 day off periods, so I'm gonna have to like my priorities. Probably gonna be. I wouldn't forget about you. Like my mic's cutting out a lot. That's shitty. Hopefully it's not too bad. Gate isn't aggressive enough. Bye bye, guys.